Good morning? Ish. Already with the issues. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. First things first, let me check the audio of the stream. And it sounds good. Nice. How are we all doing? Welcome in today. We are a little bit late, but it's fine. It's fine. We never said that it's 10 a.m. on the money. I mean, there's a key reason that we have the word ish to describe how we go live. But it is 10 a.m. ish. It's exactly 11:46. It's 14 minutes to 12, but that's close-ish. Ish. Welcome in. How are we all doing? If you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved. If you don't know who we are, my name is Graham Day. This man is the man that we call Bibby, and we together are Ice Cream Uploads. Well, we're part of the team of Ice Cream Uploads. I keep saying we together, but if you've been here long enough, you'll know that pre-lockdown there was a lot more of us that had the time to get involved in the channel, but mainly now you will see me and Bib as the representatives of Ice Cream Uploads. And in true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. Anyway, we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games, and we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions in return. Please feel free to Please feel free to get involved with us in the chat right here, right now, live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. ish. It's a big ish today. But for those of you that do stick around, Tuesday is usually our busiest day, because Tuesday is the day when we kind of got all of the things committed. So we may usually go live a little bit later on Tuesday, and we usually don't have afternoon content on a Tuesday unless something particularly special happens. So it's Tuesday, it's one of those days. But like I say, if you are with us live-ish, no, it's definitely live, it's just not at 10 a.m. 10 a.m.-ish. So if you're with us live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, please feel free to get involved with us in the chat. I can see a bunch of you are doing that already. Good morning. It's important, though, that you keep using that voice for the next hour or so as we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video for YouTube, and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So get involved in the chat on behalf of everyone else watching and listening on demand a little bit later on. Nice. Everything seems to be running. We don't seem to be having any audio issues yet, touch wood. A couple of reminders. Do you know what? I'm not even going to tell you. If you want to find out the details, type !loot drop in the chat, !insert coin, or !muscle moose. Any one of those three commands will give you some spicy information that you want to look at. Speaking of spicy, we've got some tasty stories today. Before we jump into that, though, Bib, excited for today's show? How are we feeling?
It's going to be a 4-hour show, this, I'm telling you now. This is going to be a record for us. We may have started late, but this is going all the way till 4:30 tonight, I'm telling you.
I mean, that's the thing. Starting late, we're going to say it's just one of those things of this being our side gig. But no, really what happened was me and Babe knew that there were some big stories breaking, so we decided to wait until they're fully matured into broadcastable stories that we could discuss. That's what happened. Nice. We all agreed. Nice.
To be fair, 3 of the news articles that we're going to be going through today have been listed by you guys. So again, thank you very much. I ask you if you want to get involved in the show. Some of you do. So some of you send over your stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Nice. We will obviously jump into the stories, discuss it, and then shout out the people that provided the stories as we go. So yeah, nice. Let's see who's with us today. Shout out to Babe who started the show off with this might be the biggest 10-ish ever. Pretty much. Let me also drop this in the chat because it's not appeared in my activity feed, so I can't hit to replay it. But some sub hypes there for Magic Man, who subbed for 8 months. Madge doing that in the countdown. It's not in my mini feed, so I can't hit replay on that. So Madge, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the support. 8 months. One more month, and that's enough to have a baby. We're almost there, Madge. It's almost happening. It's almost magical. Gagad says, good snowy morning-ish, guys. It's still morning. All the snowy-ish applies here because we have... It looks like someone's been making some sort of, like, cake that's just had a little bit of a frosting. That's all we've got. We've just got, like, just enough snow to give you a little bit of cover. And that's it. Not really anything. I'm seeing people like blizzards around the country. Yeah, no joke.
Decision this morning on set, but Scotland looks like it's a right shit show at the moment.
Yeah. I am the curse, because I bought a sledge 7 years ago to take Chloe sledging when she was 4 years old, and we got to use it once, and since then, nothing. No snow has settled enough. And I say we used it once. I would probably say what happened was, in the park near us, there was a thin covering of ground, just enough to make your sledge slide, but not anything like what Precision has in his garden right now. We've never had that since I bought this sledge. So there's a sledge that's in the loft. Chloe's 11 now. She's going to be like 28 before I finally get to go and push her down a hill kind of thing. So, yeah, and then we'll get the sledge out. Nice. Enix, good morning. Lake says, hello. Oh, ish. Gary says, lunchtime-ish. Graham, did you get dressed in the dark? For those of you listening on demand, I am wearing a United shirt, so there you go. Fun fact, I don't like to wear football shirts when we're streaming, unless it's a Tuesday and a Thursday. And the reasons for that are usually on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday, we will be doing Masters of the League. Obviously, that's still on hiatus at the moment. But I don't want to be representing Manchester United, which I obviously want to represent, but when I'm also supposed to be representing ICUFC. So yeah, it's a Tuesday and there's an FA Cup game tonight. So I thought, sod it, we are football shirting it today. So there you go, there's the logic. That's why I'm wearing my United shirt today. Hashtag banter. Says Gary. Konami giving Monsters and Mortal Silent Hill characters. Are they? Enix says can't be spelled today. Good morning, Plum Rico. How's things, dude? Welcome back. Iceman dropping the garlic Clark as well. Nice. Now, if he got dressed in the dark, he'd be wearing an Arsenal top. I mean, there's getting dressed in the dark, and then there's, I don't know. I mean, somehow, how do you go from getting dressed to accidentally stumbling into the janitor's closet and picking up the dirty floor rag? I mean, that's the Arsenal. I know I've been saying stay frosty, but this is not the weather I wanted. Stay frosty. Yeah. Thank you very much for the horse pirate as well. A couple of minutes ago, much appreciated. Gagat says, tons of snow here. Pity I'm working from home now. There you go. Lunchtime snowball fight. I mean, obviously social distanced. That's the thing with a snowball fight as well. You can only throw your snowballs 2 meters away from someone. You're not even allowed to hit people anymore. You have to lob it past them.
Wearing gloves.
Pirate says, on Master of the League days, why don't you wear your ICU official merch, as in the kit? I mean, I do that. My shirt is here somewhere. I had it on last week. But yeah,
I did used to wear it, but Connor ordered mine 2 sizes too big, and already as a big guy, I don't need to be looking even bigger. So now it's I'm going to get one of these that I've got my City shirts in and put it in that. Hopefully it'll fit, but it is massive.
If you're interested in getting an ICU jersey, by the way, exclamation mark merch will give you the link to our Gamers Apparel store. As Gary won, once again still in progress, we will get you that eventually, Gary. But yeah, you can grab your own. As Pirates just dropped the link in there. So we do wear them when we do the Master of the League stuff, but also it gets pretty warm when you're sat in a room with multiple lights and green screens and PC screens and everything, so we don't wear them all the time because, you know, they'd be a bit pungent, let's put it that way. Anyway, speaking about pungent and things that, you know, just downright stink, we've got some stories that effectively do that, because, you know, that's the tangent that I'm using to get into the news. Before we do that, though, I'm going to stop because Bibby's pointing his finger in the air. What's this, Bib?
Happy birthday, Plum Rico. Hope everything goes okay for you today, mate. Massive happy birthday.
Hey, did not realise. And Madge's was on Sunday as well. So Madge, happy birthday for Sunday. Plum Rico, happy birthday today. Happy birthday. Okay, I'll stop there. My present to you is that I won't continue singing. There you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Nice. Okay, let's jump into the first news story. And like I did say, something stinks. I'll tell you what, something does stink. You've probably seen this story doing the rounds on social media this morning because it's pretty big. And welcome back as well, by the way, to another episode of the Cyber Scoop. Yeah, we have another Cyberpunk story. That's a bit of a in-joke for those that may have been here before. You probably know. But Sherif Saed at VG247 says, Cyberpunk 2077 dev, CD Projekt Red falls victim to cyber attack. CD Projekt Red has suffered a data breach. This morning, Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 developer CD Projekt Red revealed that its internal systems have been compromised as a result of a hack. This was discovered yesterday. According to a note posted to Twitter, CD Projekt Red said the hacker made it out with certain data, that's a quote, and encrypted some drives on the studio's network, leaving them to discover their note to discuss a ransom. Though the studio did manage to recover some of the encrypted drives through backups, it will not be able to stop the hacker from selling or leaking the information they obtained. CD Projekt Red has, however, contacted partners who may be affected as a way of trying to lessen the damage. With that said, no user personal data has been compromised. According to the note left by the hacker, which the studio also posted on Twitter, the dump contains source code for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of The Witcher 3. The hacker also claims to have access to accounting, HR, admin, and legal documents. We will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data, CD Projekt Red wrote. So, there is an embedded tweet there just at the bottom of the article as well. That is 2 parts. I won't go through and read this ad nauseum, because the part on the left is CD Projekt's note detailing all of the stuff that we've just gone over. What was taken, what the ransom requests are. That's all detailed in the right side, which is the hacker's note posted on Notepad. So we don't need to go through those because this article has done a very, very good job of summarising that. Actually, do you know what? I will actually. Because it didn't quite get all of the sentiment that I wanted to pick up. I won't go through the CD Projekt Red statement because, as you can expect, they've been hacked. They don't want to give too much data, and they're not going to give into terrorists' demands. But this is the Notepad note left by the hackers. Hello, CD Projekt. You have been epically pwned. We have dumped full copies of source codes from your Perforce server for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. We have also dumped all of your documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. Also, we have encrypted all of your servers, but we understand that you can most likely recover from backups. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how you shitty your company functions. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. You have 48 hours to contact us. So, as you can see from that, bit of a knobhead statement there from the hackers. A lot to unpack, a lot of angles to come at this from. So grab yourself a seat. We may be here for a while, but Bib, to get things going, what are your thoughts?
Wankers. What is the point? Like, what is their gain? I mean, it's obvious what their gain is. They obviously want to try and get money, and if they don't get money, they'll just sell off the source code to whoever it is that wants it to be able to do whatever they want with it, or they'll just put it out for free. But why? Like, genuinely, like, why? Like, first of all, you have been epically pwned.
All your base are belong to us.
It's very peculiar. Like, there's just absolutely no room for this. Yes, we have criticised CD Projekt Red in the way that they've handled Cyberpunk, the way that they've handled releasing the game and this current state that it's in. But never in a million years would you ever condone this type of behaviour. It's just ridiculous. Like, why? Apart from just trying to be the Billy Big Bollocks, everyone else thinks you're a massive twat.
The thing is if you go and look at CD Projekt Red's tweet, it seems to have balanced out a little bit now. The tweet that was embedded in that article is 4 hours old. If you went and looked at that tweet in the first hour, there were so many people that thought this was acceptable. I didn't like the way that you released your game. I didn't like the strategy that you had in terms of releasing a game that was below par on consoles. I don't think CD Projekt Red liked it after it happened, if I'm being honest, as well. It's not just you weirdos, but people were then going to the next level and saying, I didn't like it, so this is what you get. This is the comeuppance that you get for delivering a subpar game. CD Projekt Red would have never intentionally delivered a subpar game. I'm not giving them a free pass. They fucked up. They royally fucked up with The Witcher. Not The Witcher. I mean, they did it first with The Witcher, but then they fixed it. But Cyberpunk, they did. They dropped the ball in every sense of the world. The most probably the most severe sense of the world that anyone has ever done with a game of that scale. And they did it in full view of the public. They have paid the price for that. I mean, they've earned a shitload of money, but they will have fucking lost shitloads, not only in sentiment, but financially as well. The whole implications of the Sony stuff, don't get me wrong, still made loads of profit, but nowhere near as much as they would have done. So they have felt this. So these people thinking, do you know what, this is what you get for releasing a dodgy game. What realm of reality do you exist in if you think that this is okay? This is the penance. This is what you pay for that. If you are that kind of person that thinks that this is an acceptable comeuppance, you are broken. You are broken. There is no fixing stupid. It is ridiculous. I'm happy for CD Projekt Red to be called out. I'm happy if CD Projekt Red are anywhere near this horrendous beast that exploits their workers, as Jason Schreier has been saying for a while. If that turns out to be true, I'm happy for that to be exposed. And do you know what? I won't condone exposing hacking into someone's servers and taking files off them. But there's a grey area in what I'm trying to say around that, in terms of if you hacked into someone's servers and took files that exposed how shitty they were to people, okay, that's doing... there's an element of noble hidden in between the illegalities there. Whereas these people aren't doing that. These people are just going in, taking all sorts of files and threatening to lower their share prices and expose them if they don't pay ransom. It's purely theft, and that's it. It's petty thievery. That's what it is. Arseholes. Yep. But yeah, you guys in the chat, what do you guys think? Are you happy with CD Projekt? First, would you still be happy to play Cyberpunk? And if you aren't, in any sense of the way, would you condone this activity? Because I'm happy with people not being happy with Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red. I'm happy with people never wanting to touch a CD Projekt Red game ever again. That's entirely a logical decision. It's one that can be debated heavily, but it's a logical decision based on your own subjective opinions. But in your subjective opinions, do you believe that this should ever be an acceptable route of action?
Well, all this is going on, surely then they won't be able to work, will they? If all the systems have been contaminated, shall we say, for the sake of this, then all the patches and stuff that they're currently working on will just surely have to cease until all the investigation is done throughout all the servers on the network.
So I maybe don't.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that shows you that these people have gone in almost like white knighting on behalf of everyone else. But that's just a smokescreen. These people aren't going in white knighting on behalf of everyone else. These people are just petty thieves that have used that as some sort of excuse, knowing that when they put it out, some whoppers on the internet will agree with it. I did see a comment in the chat. Let's jump in the chat. Gary says, some of the comments after CD Projekt Red released that statement are embarrassing. You shouldn't have released a bad game. Then this wouldn't have happened, is one of the quotes Gary's put in the chat.
That was the top comment.
Fuck me, humanity is fucked, is Gary's response to that. It's beyond belief that people believe that is acceptable. Hacking the shit out of a company and willing to expose a company because you haven't had the game that you experienced. That's people's livelihoods. Forget the suits. Let's remain angry at the suits. I'm happy for that. Remain angry at the suits. The same can be applied to any company, but there's people, real people in there. You can be angry at the suits without attacking a company to the point where this could damage the foundations. Yeah, it's probably not going to bring the company down, but it could really, really badly damage the foundations and have financial implications for a long time to come. People could lose their jobs over this. Not security guys, but they could lose out on money that means that, okay, we're not going to extend your contracts for the next term because we've financially lost out, so we're going to have to lose some of the dev teams. Or if their HR and human resources and legal stuff are in here, maybe that compromises some of those, so some of those guys have to be let go. This is horrendous. This does not make up for your experience with a game. This is people's livelihoods. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Madge says terrible news for CD Projekt Red and all those affected. Enix says that note literally sounds like a joke. Who says pwned anymore? Exactly. Yeah. Tasim says once again the internet goes too far. The hackers can't even get the name of the company right. CD Projekt. Is that? I don't see it. I don't know what you mean. Enix says just edgy kids thinking they're funny. Just because I streamed and I was a teacher. I got death threats saying my son should be raped, killed, etc. because I stopped a school trip for some of the students. So they decided to go on full-on troll mode. Welcome to this generation. Damn. I'm not happy with the Cyberpunk situation as they fucked it up, but I would never want to see this happen to any developer, says Gary. It's just awful. There's a difference between wanting a game to be better rather than seeing people's livelihoods messed up like this. The game was in its state because of the higher-ups and not the devs doing all the hard work every day for around 7 years. And Precision says they think they can get away with everything this day and age. People's future prospects are at risk doing this, regardless of how bad the company has done with current or previous projects. Exactly. It's infuriating. I mean, see, like we say, we're not going to sugarcoat anything. CD Projekt Red's higher-ups have fucked up, and people that have been delivering content marketing around this game for 7 years to make it one of the most, if not the most, anticipated release of the generation or ever. I don't know. I mean, I've not seen anything that calculates it, but it's definitely up there. To then mess it up so royally it's unforgivable for the higher ups, but people are still working their asses off on this. We've been excited because the storytellers and the art workers, the people that are level designing, have all done exceptional jobs. It's just the people at the top that are pushing the finances have put so much constraints on it that it's messed up. It has messed up, but nothing ever excuses this. So yeah, if you're in our chat and you think that serves you right, then hopefully you over time become a bit more of a balanced person and aren't so knee-jerky and reactionary. In terms of if you pay 50 quid for a game and it's not being what you wanted, to think it's right for a company to be at the hands of extortionists and blackmailers and potentially risk some form of financial ruin, if not complete and utter financial ruin. If you think that is beneficial, if you're watching now, obviously feel free to share your opinions in the chat. Obviously feel free to keep them to yourself if you feel like you may get jumped on, because chances are you probably would. It's not good enough. Yeah. It's not good enough. And if you're a whopper on Twitter that agrees that this kind of thing is justifiable, then you need to check your sense of reality. It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
We've seen this not just in video games. Like one of the biggest ones I think in my lifetime was when Rooney was meant to be leaving Man United, and there was like thousands of people outside his house, and the police had to come round because they were trying to scale his gate to try and get in and hurt him. You know what I mean? It's things that shouldn't even cross your mind. Never mind thousands of other people thinking it's cool or turning up to your house to do the exact same thing. It's mental that this stuff even goes through people's heads.
What's his face? Woodward at United. Hate the man with a passion. I'm wearing a United shirt, but I hate the man with a passion purely because I'm not spoken to him, and a lot of it could be blown out of proportion. I would be willing to have my opinion changed. But something that he's heavily involved in, player retention and football direction for the club, not just transfers, and basically the bigger picture has not been good enough. So I hate's a strong word. I severely dislike the man. I don't believe he's been good for the club. I would be willing to have my opinion changed, but one thing I wouldn't be willing to do is to go to his house and storm his gates where he lives and his family lives, his children are. Anyone that believes that kind of behaviour is acceptable for a bunch of people kicking a bit of leather around. If you think that's that acceptable, don't get me wrong, there are... I don't necessarily agree with simplifying it to that point, because it's not just a bunch of people kicking leather around. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that has massive economic and social implications. It's bigger than just kicking a bit of leather around, but it's not big enough to the point where that is ever excusable. Just like this isn't. It's not excusable. There is no excuse. Also had kids in my class who got arrested for hacking corporate or even the school and leaking teachers' details and bank details. Nope. Also, the company had apologised for what was delivered and vowed to do better. Yeah, absolutely. They are working on it, but not right now. Their developers are not going to be working on fixing that today. So, yeah, the people that are pissed at them not delivering a good game and thinking it's justifiable, you think that the actions that are stopping them from doing what they've pledged to do is justifiable? It's literally cutting your own nose off to spite your own face. You're putting yourself... John Breezy, good morning, dude. Says I bought it, played it, then gave it to my mate. The game was meant to be something. It's not all the hype, and it didn't deliver, in my opinion. Obviously, no, I fully agree. A bit. This is me doing this on behalf of me and Bibby. You can see Bibby's on his shelf just above him, the yellow bit there. But Cyberpunk, I have it here, fully cellophane wrapped, not even bothered opening it. Danielle knew I was excited to play the game. Got it me for Christmas, and it hasn't been opened in the second week of February because I'm disappointed. But I, as someone that has a copy of the game, now have an opinion on that game. I've paid into it. Well, Danielle's paid into it. I own it, and I now have an opinion that I can share. I'm not happy with the situation for CD Projekt Red, and I would love to play this game. I'm waiting for it, but it's not ready yet. I still don't agree that this is ever acceptable. And I'm not saying that you do, by the way, John Breezy. I'm just saying. But no, I agree. A lot of people have. A lot of people bought the game. A lot of people returned the game. A lot of people passed it on. Most of them, though, still wouldn't think that essentially, even though digitally, breaking and entering, theft, extortion, kidnapping, and blackmail digitally. That's basically all of the above. It's extreme behaviours. People. Gary says people get too obsessed with materialistic stuff. That mob was just papers paying people to be there who were working for the Sun. Yeah.
Don't know about that.
Nah. That mob was journalists that were there, but that could be worse. In Glasgow this year, the Celtic fans attacked their own players with fences. What the fuck?
Gotta show a different breed, aren't they? Like it's literally like attacking them with fences.
Yeah, in Manchester it's like, all right, mate, let's go and hit him with a stick, mate. And then in Glasgow it's, hey, have you got a stick? And it's like, I've got loads of sticks all bolted together. It's a wee fence, eh? I mean, there's hardcore and there's hardcore. Gary says the ironic thing is that these people that are happy they've been hacked are the same people that want the game to be improved. Fucking idiots, says Gary. No, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just counterintuitive. It's fucking stupid.
The ironic thing is that and I've read that bit. To be fair, it looks and works really well on Series X and PS5. Enjoyed playing on Xbox, but if you're PS4/1, don't touch it. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that from the overwhelming majority as well, but I want to play it at the best it can be on console, so I'm just going to sit back and wait for the updates to come. Metal barriers it was, says Precision. No, this is not right in any way, of course, and I already have tested Cyberpunk and will play it more later, says Lake. There you go. I mean, it's the most given away game here on Ice Cream Uploads. Fact, we've given 2 copies away in the loot drop. We gave one away in December, I think it was, when we did the first giveaway, and Gag had won that, and then we gave it away in the game of choice in January to Spike. So yeah, it's the most given away game.
I actually tweeted about it the other day, actually, Spike, saying that he was really enjoying it.
Nice. See, Asim, I don't know if he's still here. Asim's played it, has really enjoyed it as well. Hypes the game up to a fair level. I mean, not blindly. Still says it has issues, but yeah, it's not as horrendous as. Do you know what? I bet a lot of the people that are saying it serves them right didn't even buy the game, or return the game, or will probably still get it at some point in time. It's just the internet. I get it, Precision. The fans just wanted to make sure people knew why they were doing it. Guess you could say they wanted no one sitting on the fence about it. Pirate leaves. Big Zombie 1-1, didn't he? I missed that big lovable chap. He's often here. He's often lurking. Quite often I'll mention him and then he'll just be like, bing, I'm here. Don't worry. But yeah, he won the January version, the game of your choice one. Number one pirate, please leave, says Precision. There you go. I mean, yeah. Anyway, do you know what? Seeing as we're on the subject of video games that have been huge letdowns, let's move ahead. Obviously, this is the Cyberscoop. That's the end of the Cyberscoop segment. Let's jump into something else that has actually been submitted. Do you have the details on who submitted each article? I believe this one was submitted by RoboDanjal. Was the last one as well?
No, the last one, on the sheet, that was Tasim.
Okay. I didn't even think about looking at the sheet. There we go. Nice. Okay. Oh, wrong tab. Okay, we'll jump into the next article and we'll pick off who submitted each stories. As mentioned, we do appreciate it when you guys do get involved in sharing the news with us, so we can share it with you. But this one, I believe, was submitted by RoboDanjal and is written by Andy Chalk at PC Gamer and says, Anthem's days may be numbered, as EA will reportedly decide on its fate this week. This article was written just 12 hours ago, and a report says EA executives will examine the game's status and decided whether to commit to the update or pull the plug. And decided? That's past tense. Okay, we'll read that again, but get rid of their typo. A report says EA executives will examine the game's status and decide whether to commit to the update or pull the plug, is probably what it should have read. But it's been 2 years since the launch of the third-person shooter Anthem, and just a little over 1 year since we first heard that BioWare was working on a complete overhaul, referred to internally as Anthem 2.0 or Anthem Next. A small number of updates have dropped since then, but there's been very little in the way of specifics shared publicly. Instead, it's been vague promises of more and better loot, more, quote, satisfying javelin builds, and concept art for pirates. Whether the efforts to resurrect the game will continue will be decided later this week, according to a Bloomberg report, which says that executives at BioWare parent Electronic Arts will review the status of the game and decide whether to expand the team working on it, which in May 2020 totaled about 30 people, or pull the plug. Anthem's proposed overhaul would be a major undertaking, essentially a complete do-over, and EA hasn't publicly commented on whether it's actually willing to commit to BioWare's proposed plan to reinvent the game, whatever it may turn out to be. And there's no guarantee it will succeed. As we said a few months after it came out, Anthem felt, quote, hopeless, end quote, not because of bugs or performance issues that can be patched out, but because it's, quote, unimaginative and underwhelming. In 4 months, BioWare has only managed to address some of Anthem's most broken designs, but we're still left with a shooter that is woefully boring and sparse, end quote. LaRoche, welcome in for the second month in a row, 3 months in total with Oi Oi, although it didn't come out as Oi Oi in my TTS, it just came through as Oi. So if anyone's listening to the on-demand version, that's what that noise was. Oi, thank you very much for the sub, LaRoche, appreciate it, dude. It may also be telling that BioWare Austin studio director Christian Daly, who announced the formation of a small, quote, incubation team at BioWare dedicated to figuring out where Anthem went wrong, took the reins on Dragon Age 4 in December 2020, following the departures of Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah, a job that I imagine will occupy a pretty big chunk of his time and attention. An Electronic Arts representative declined to comment on the report, saying that the company does not comment on rumours or speculation. So there you go. Anthem's days may be numbered or may not be numbered. They may be guaranteed a bigger chunk more, as EA are reportedly going to decide on the fate of the failed looter shooter thing this week. I mean, that the article gives a few details there. I mean, can you see EA progressing? Could you see Anthem coming back, or is it more likely that Christian Daly, who was working on that incubation team and has since been moved on, is that a signifier that things are done? What are your thoughts, Bib?
Yeah, I think the fact that when did this come out now? Was it nearly 2 years ago? And we have heard very little in the way of where the direction this is going. We've had a couple of EA conferences. We've had a Gamescom. We've had an E3, and we've heard absolutely nothing from it. It's like they just don't want to acknowledge it at this point. So I think whatever update comes will be the sink or swim one. If I was a betting man, then I probably would say that this has probably got less than 18 months left on it. I don't know what they can do now. I mean, they're calling it Anthem next or Anthem 2.0. Having 2.0 is probably a good way of trying to entice people back. Like obviously they did. We talk about Fortnite doing that, and then the player base skyrocketing again because it was making Fortnite 2 or Chapter 2. I think that's probably a good way of trying to get people back. But you need to do something that's going to get the people back, and then the other 95% of people that didn't pick it up in the first place, that want trying to entice them to come and play your game. This is something that I'll come back to in terms of we talked about this many times in the office. As soon as I say in the game, I said that looks shit. Like, fair enough, you look like Iron Man flying around in the suit, but everything that I saw from the gameplay trailers, I said in the office, looks shit. Lee was all over it. Like, he said this could be like one of the next biggest things. He's a massive Destiny player. Like, he plays it all the time. This said he could challenge that, and unfortunately, he got nowhere close. Like, he came out the gate late. It was, should we say, boring, underwhelming, nothing to do in it. It just wasn't a great game from the outside looking in, and from the people who obviously pick up the day one release for £90 or the Ultimate Edition, and then if they stop playing it before the month's even up, that's a telling sign. So I think they've got a lot of work to do. I think they've got 18 months, and I think that's being generous, especially for is it classed as an MMO? It's definitely a live service game. So 18 months is actually quite a long time. That's usually maybe 2 expansion packs for most MMO games or live content games. They've got a long way to go. I, for one, will be looking at it from the outside looking in. I don't want to pick up this game. Even if I got EA Play, I still think 98p is probably too much. And that's an awful thing to say, but it doesn't tickle any part of me. And I play a lot of shit games.
Confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. So yeah, I think it's a massive 18 months ahead of them. I don't think it's going to survive, for being honest, though.
See, I can see this. I can see it making a turnaround, and I could see it even being longer than 18 months. It's just whether EA want to commit the money. Just before I jump into that, let me jump back up through and say Precision says, did Bibby send over the ESBC stuff I sent him? If not, I can forward it for another podcast. He did. Yes. We covered that yesterday. Quite a lot of love.
Oh, he sent me something afterwards.
Oh, really?
It was a Q&A, but I was trying to find the article that it came from this morning to be able to include it in the show. But all I got was the text from Precision. It was a Q&A, like a 15-question Q&A, but I was trying to find an article with a little bit of context as to who was asking the questions and who was answering the questions, so we can have like a proper detailed breakdown. I mean, I've got the questions, and we can definitely include it in tomorrow's show, but I just wanted a little bit of context around it.
He says it was from their Discord. He can forward it all.
Right. Okay.
Okay. That bit. I mean, I'm intrigued of seeing a little bit more on that, so we can, we can jump in that one and pick that apart tomorrow. Then that'd be good.
Precision, stick it in our Discord in the ice cream one. I'll tell you where to put it. As Graham.
I'll tell you where to put it. Easy, Tiger. God.
Tell you where to fucking put it. Put it in the gaming chat in random.
Is that because Precision said if not, I can forward it to another podcast? Is that why you're telling him where to put it? God, Bibby, honestly, bit defensive, mate.
I can just scrape it and put it into tomorrow's podcast. That's not a problem.
Gary says Anthem is done for sure. Enix says gunplay, movement, and world are great. Enjoyed some of the DLC they brought out, but the loot system and endgame is absolutely terrible. Pirate says, wait, something for pirates? I'm back! La Roche says, pleasure. I appreciate the sub. Seriously, I mean, I've mentioned it before. I did mention it at the start of the stream. We don't do this as the full-time work. This is our side gig, so any subs and stuff like that, even if it's just a prime line around, does make a huge difference to us, so I appreciate it, La Roche. And I think you were in last month's loot drop, but if you're not, just double check that you're in the loot drop on the Discord so that you can be included in next month's loot drop. You might bag yourself a prize. Same with anyone that has subbed as well, by the way. Make sure you're in the loot drop, or you could be missing out on prizes. Talking about Anthem, David says, why did Good Charlotte come to mind? Another loser Anthem. Whoa! If Anthem does come back and they don't have Good Charlotte as the advertising track, then they've absolutely missed it. I mean, they didn't first time round, and we know the content plans all failed. So maybe that's it. Maybe they just didn't have enough Good Charlotte in.
Yeah, well, as long as the title track is Young and Hopeless, then yeah, I think we might get away with it.
I mean, do we think that EA could save them. I mean, EA have got shitloads of money, and we all know about the lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Sorry, we're just on the subject of good shout. No, like I say, I think you're all probably right that I've said so far that this is probably too big a mountain to climb. But I mean, they're not going to climb it; they're going to fly up it in jet suits, so it's okay. No, it's a disaster of a game, but I can see there was enough positivity around. Who was it that mentioned it? So the Anthem showcase at E3, that bit where you see the Iron Man suits and stuff flying around, wasn't that basically all they had for the game? So we all saw it thinking this is wonderful, and EA was basically like, well, shit, that was just a tech demo essentially, and we may have sold it as a full game. So they had to kind of go and put that stuff together. But their imagery, their theory, there was enough there to capture the imagination. So if you were a marketing executive, someone selling advertising or merchandising, that would be something that could potentially be dropped into the bargain bin. But another brand could be sat there waiting to pick it up and going, okay, we will take that and we will give you £4 for that, and then turn it into $1 billion franchise. I can see it being $1 billion franchise. It just needs, I say just needs, it is absolutely missing its core. The idea, the design, the theory, and the functionality, well, that's wonderful, but what is the core? And if EA can go at it and put that together, I could see it being, I know we've mentioned it a million times, but EA's No Man's Sky. I could see it being that. And right now, we are kind of crying out for huge next-gen games. So if they make PS5 Anthem be Xbox Series X Anthem, this massive thing with a core story that hooks you and builds you in, I can see it being decent. The thing, though, is that the amount of money that they will have to put into that to change opinions, they kind of... The only thing better than a success story is... what's the word? Like, I can't think of the word. The word where someone's kind of like fucked up and come back again. A redemption story. So the only thing better than a success story is redemption. And I think a redemption story would absolutely do EA a world of good. Because one thing that EA do get a lot of criticism for is just being money hungry. And if they can put a shitload of money into something to turn it into a redemption story, that's great for the community. So that I could see them doing that. That said, I could also see them just going, fuck it, let's just bin it and we'll start something else.
I've seen Jordan comment there about Final Fantasy 14, the likes of WoW, and then I'll chuck in Elder Scrolls Online because that wasn't a great game when it first came out. However, they're established franchises. Like, Final Fantasy will never be allowed to die. There's a reason why Final Fantasy 7 keeps on coming back. Like, Final Fantasy 14 could never fail. It was shit out the gate, but it's Final Fantasy. It will eventually get better. Same with Elder Scrolls. That's too big to die. It's a well-established franchise. I mean, we don't mention it that often on this show, but it was always going to get better. Despite me,
I think that's bullshit.
I didn't play Elder Scrolls for maybe 2 or 3 years after launch. I've got it on my PS4. Hated it. Thought it was shit. There was just nothing to do in it, and the servers was all over the gap. 4 years later, I'm back playing it, and I play it. I haven't played it recently. I like to say the last 3 weeks, but I play it quite a lot. But Anthem, it hasn't got the prestige to bring people back in. There is always anomalies, like you mentioned about No Man's Sky. Again, one of the best redemption stories that you're probably ever going to see in video games. But yeah, they're few and far between. And I'll be very surprised, and I will hold my hands up in 18 months' time if they manage to turn this game around to be a game that they have a massive user base. I mean, I'd love to see how many people are playing that game now. If there is a
7.
website that I can view that, yeah. If I can see how many people they are catering to now, and then in 18 months' time find out and see what the numbers are, then that'll be an amazing comparison. But I've just got a gut feeling that it's just not going to make it.
No, I think it's very, very likely. To give an example where I was kind of looking at it from, I've been watching The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. Good series, by the way. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a game that was included, a brand that was included in that, in terms of the look to the history of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The biggest toy franchise, movie franchise, TV franchise in the world at the end of the 80s, early 90s, and then it just kind of went to shit. There was just over-marketed, really bad storyline. It was crap. It wasn't really going anywhere, and it lost any form of substance. So it just became literal bargain basement branding. All the toys that were in shops were just thrown into the one quid bins and stuff like that. And the guys that sold it, basically one was bought out by the other one, and the other one sold the whole brand for like 60 million, which is a good chunk of money, but for a brand that was that big, not so much. Anyway, that brand was then picked up by Nickelodeon, who reinvented Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, had some Nickelodeon series, had the Michael Bay films, earned 400 odd million in one calendar year or something, and they realised that, yes, it had become a piece of shit, but there was something powerful in there earlier on, and I think that's the thing with Anthem. For me, I'd be looking at that and saying there's definitely something there. So we either take Anthem and take it out of the bargain basements and reinvent it and come back strong, or we just let it die and then take the concept and try make not Anthem, we'll create Santhem, completely different series in 2 years' time or something like that. I wouldn't. Even if it dies, I wouldn't expect it dies. I think there's something there that they can use again. Okay, let me jump back. Chat has moved on quite a bit. Enix says they have been doing bi-monthly updates on 2.0 and it looks improved. It's mainly the content and progression, but yeah, too little, too late. Bonsai! Hey, welcome in, dude. Hi, lads. Hope everyone is safe and well. All good. Good to see you. Good. Do you know what? We're better now you're here. That's what it is. Gary Clark says No Man's Sky had a similar issue at launch with their game, but the difference with that is that they started improving it straight away. Anthem has been left stagnant for far too long now, and because of that, they've essentially buried it. I think they haven't it hasn't been stagnant, but I think the issue is the perception of it being stagnant. So I know that they've definitely been delivering updates, but because it's such a big game, the updates almost have been inconsequential, or it going from full global coverage to inconsequential updates that's not really getting the airtime. It's still the whole thing. If you want the game to succeed and you are continuing to update, you need to make sure everyone knows you're updating it. If not, you might as well, because the theory behind the updates has just been lost. Jordan then says, I think they left like 10 to 20 people to work on 2.0 and that was it. So not enough to do a sizable update or changing the majority of the game. Yeah, exactly. Pirate leaves again. Bye, Pirate. Final Fantasy 14 didn't look at it now. Literally caving World of Warcraft in now. Bonsai says, not been able to catch the shows as much lately. Never tried Anthem. But before it was released, it did sound like it was going to be an amazing game. But just like Cyberpunk, it was a huge letdown, and I'm glad I haven't purchased either game. I think the issue with Anthem, though, is like there was so much hype for it, but it was one of those games where it's like, but what is it? It's like, okay, it looks great, it looks amazing, and you've got rocket suits, and it looks really good. The graphics are incredible. The creature, the level design, the environments, the functions, the mechanics, all looks amazing. But what do? What is it? And nobody really knew that. I don't really know now. I know that there's no real life to it and it's the end game shit, but I can't tell you what the early to mid game to get to the end game is, because it just didn't seem to. It's some third person shootery lootery thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
meant to be the Destiny killer.
Yeah. Asim says, I enjoyed what I played of it mechanically, but the content just wasn't there to keep you engaged. Hopefully they can turn it around as they have something there, whether it be Anthem Resurrected or Anthem 2. Jordan says, they remade the whole of Final Fantasy 14. Remember when 1.0 came out? Version 2 even got its own story trailer of version 1.0 being destroyed and the player's been revived in 2.0. Now it's absolutely huge with some of the best storytelling in an RPG I've ever seen. Madge says turning Anthem into an FTP game might be in conjunction with sweeping improvements be enough to save it. I suspect it's not going to have a future, however. I mean, free-to-play could be an angle for it. They've had success with free-to-play with Apex. So maybe. If you type in Anthem on Twitch, it has over 300,000 followers, yet only 30 viewers watching 6 streamers play it. Oh, painful. I thought maybe
Marvel Alliance, though. Same thing.
That's it, though. I mean, you can get some huge games, huge IPs, But if you don't have the content, it's not like Noah's Ark. Build it and they will come. It's like, yeah, build it, they will come, realise there's fuck all there, and then go back home again. Just sat there with 30 people, sat there going, John Travolta meme. What? What is it? What?
Sea of Thieves is currently having a massive resurrection again. And that was a good game coming out the gate. It just lacked anything to be able to go into it again. Never played it again from the outside looking in. But that seems to be having a massive resurrection at the moment. I don't know whether or not they've added a load of new content to it or what, but it seems to be people are jumping back into it again. So again, there is redemption stories like you mentioned earlier. They are few and far between, but a little bit of TLC, you won't have any scrubs.
Exactly. Cool. We'll use that to wrap up that story and move on to the next one then. Gary did say, I thought Bibby left to check if Anthem was dead or not. He did, and it is. So there you go.
Yeah.
No, we'll see. Hopefully they can turn it around, because I love the style of it. It's just, what is it? Hopefully they can figure something out there. If not, do you know what? They'll figure something out, because that team's just not going to suddenly stop working. They'll work on something else, so we'll see what it is, no doubt, over the next 12 months. So Enix does say, though, Anthem and Cyberpunk, the two stories that we started the show with, are a good showcase that if a developer refuses to show you gameplay a month before release, avoid it like the plague or don't pre-order. Correct. Not always, but yeah, they're very good catch-all point there. If you don't know what it is, and if they're not telling you what it is and you can't see what it is, yeah, maybe don't pre-order. Maybe wait a little bit longer to drop in your pre-order. I'm all for people that pre-order. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of pre-ordering because you're putting your money into something that you've not tried and tested. But as someone that's been on the inside of the industry, pre-ordering can be huge for a business and help towards the development of the game. A lot of people think you're just giving them money to take it away and not deliver, but often pre-orders help shape what you get. But yeah, I'm also saying don't blindly pre-order, because that would be stupid. Sea of Thieves' classes, Gary. Not necessarily NX Doom 2016 didn't show much or give review copies, but was great. It's not universal case by case. Exactly. LaRoche says, Bonds, I hope you're well, mate. You winning today? Is that PUBG's? If it is, then do you not get a couple of wins for me? I won't be playing today, but get a couple of wins for me. Anyway, one thing I also won't be doing is travelling to any events anytime soon, because, we're in a pandemic and that's just the way it is. And that's also me cheesily tangenting into the next article, which is written by Andy Chalk, also at PC Gamer. It says, E3 will return for 2021 as an online event. The ESA said it's transforming the E3 experience. Okay. For an all-digital show. The okay there was, I believe in E3 and I believe in the video games industry. I don't necessarily believe in the ESA, but we'll continue and see what they have to say. So the COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of E3 last year, along with pretty much every other in-person video game event. And while various digital showcases rushed to fill that void, a hoped-for online experience, that's a quote by the way, to take the place of E3 itself never happened. The Entertainment Software Association, also known as the ESA, committed to a 2021 event, but 2020 ultimately fizzled out and fell off the map. Excuse me. The current state of the pandemic is not what anyone hoped it would be when we were still back in the first half of 2020, but the ESA has confirmed that plans for a 2021 event are moving ahead. A VGC report says pitch documents sent to game publishers lays out plans for 3 days of live-streamed coverage running June the 15th to June the 17th, the E3 2021 dates that were announced last year. The plan is to have multiple keynote sessions, an awards show, a preview night, and separate streams from individual publishers, influencers, and others. The week leading up to the event would be similar to the pre-E3 press events traditionally held by major game publishers, with media previews and publicly available demos, and there are also plans for remotely streamed playable demos for media. Quote, we can confirm that we are transforming the E3 experience for 2021 and will soon share exact details on how we're bringing the global video game community together, the ESA said in an email Quote, "We are having great conversations with publishers, developers, and companies across the board, and we look forward to sharing details about their involvement soon," end quote. The loss of in-person events last year led to numerous independent online shows from various publishers and platforms, including Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, Sony, and Microsoft, which demonstrated their ability to get their messages out to significant audiences without having to work within the confines of E3. We also ran the PC gaming show as usual, the article says in brackets. A return to a live event would surely be welcome under better circumstances, but it remains to be seen how eager publishers are to throw in for a digital-only E3, given how they've previously managed on their own. The ESA said it will share official details on plans for E3 2021 soon. So E3, huge in terms of the video games industry. Back for the last 25 years is whatever it is. Huge. But is it needed? The ESA assume it is because they're looking at bringing E3 back. But after video games brands have been able to deliver on their own for the last year, me and Bibby watched the Xbox Game Showcase. We watched the Sony, 2 or 3 Sony events. We watched other events as well as Gamescom's versions of that too. My thoughts initially are, out of the events that we watched last year, Gamescom's was probably the weakest because all of the first-party brands had done all their own things. So Gamescom being a third-party brand, trying to talk about first-party titles and new releases, but a little bit late, wasn't the greatest. What makes you think that E3 could do it better? What are your thoughts, Bib? Could they do it?
Literally everything that you just said is exactly how I'm feeling about this. I think I'd still love to live in a world where E3 is massively relevant. I just think, as Gary's mentioned there, they're still charging like 100,000, well, 6-figure sums to be part of this conference, even though it's a digitally only one. They don't have to put their own stages on us or anything like that. They're literally just creating their own content, digital format, sending it over via WeTransfer, and then they're just broadcasting it off a USB stick on a PC somewhere, and they're still charging 6-figure sums. Yes, it is obviously peak time for marketing when it comes to promoting your video game. But I think there's been a lot of other publishers, like Bethesda did their own thing last year, and I thought that was fantastic. They did one the other day, again, the Elder Scrolls, believe it or not. But these other publishers doing their own thing. Capcom did one not long ago. That was fantastic. I mean, it was only 25 minutes long. It put across every single thing that they wanted to put across. So, I think for the more established brands, yeah, they're going to do it regardless of how much money it costs. They'll do it because they've always done it. Until something comes along where it takes away that E3 feeling, and hopefully, I mean, we said it last year, we're hoping that we'll be in a different situation. Hopefully this time next year we'll be able to go back to events again and be at conferences where we get sweaty people and the great unwashed rubbing shoulders with them, queuing up for a game for 12 hours to play a 30-second demo. Hopefully we're back to that, because that is what makes gaming enjoyable for me. Gamescom, when I went there nearly 2 years ago now. Jesus, it's going to be 2 years this year.
Yeah. That's how long we've been in lockdown. God damn it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that long ago. I mean, I would have been here 3 years in June. But it's mental. Like, that's one of the best things that I've ever done, being able to go there and just knob around, just speak to people, speak to other community managers, get to play demos of games that I probably would never even have any interest in playing.
I love
coming out to it.
You can tell when someone enjoys their job, because what really happened was Bibby went to E3. It procured images, assets, and context for social media content. He sat down and played hands-on preview code of games. He went to all this other stuff, but you can tell when someone likes their job because they call it knobbing around. What did you do at E3? Oh, knobbed around. Oh, nice.
Knobbed around. The amount of people I spoke to, like, I'm coming away. I mean, it's like convention flu and all that stuff is a real thing. Like, my throat was killing me for days. The amount of conversations I was having with people, like, one of the best things ever wasn't even one of the games that was on like a showcase. It was in a little booth in the back when I got to play Daymare, getting to speak to the developers there. That was fantastic. But it's just the small little things like that.
Still got my Daymare virus sample just here, by the way. There's mine.
Mine's on there, right next to Grogu. Boom.
Nice.
But yeah, it was such it's the first time I've been to something as big as that. And then obviously I went to EGX later on in the year, which is just a completely different vibe than the Gamescom one. But yeah, I'd love to see all these events still be there in a year's time. I do think that they need to change the way that they present and have the people coming around, and it does feel like it's been the same for about 20 years. It's just opening night live, and then, I mean, obviously that's Gamescom, but like an opening night thing, and then bam, 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 bam. I think it does need to change up a little bit. However, yeah.
No,
I can't forget, obviously, going around into the booths in the back where Asim's just feeding us with cakes, tea, and all that stuff.
Yeah. No, I find it frustrating as hell. I mean, the way I describe it, and will continue to describe it, as someone that came into the industry as a fan. I didn't just come into the industry as a professional. I was a fan and volunteered
I think most of us all in the chat are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all of us, like one time or another, worked in the video games world. We're all fans first. We haven't just found this and fell into it. We're all fans first.
Well, that's
the beauty of the video games world.
That's all of us in here, because you kind of have to be a fan to go and watch a podcast about video games. Quite a lot of people, quite a lot of people at E3 will be just professionals. They will be marketing people that have gone from one industry into the other. There are a lot of people that aren't necessarily core gamers in the industry, but a lot of people are. The majority of people are. Maybe not to our extent, but that's fine. We can all be weird together. It's okay. But yeah, the ESA they are a different kind of weird, because E3, like I was saying, I don't know if I actually said the words or if I got to it or not, or if I went on a tangent, but for me it's Game of Christmas. It's Christmas in June, Christmas in July, that sort of time where we get to know what our next year is going to be as gamers, what we are going to be looking forward to, what the column inches are going to be defined that we will be talking about, and then how that arcs over the next 12 months. So we get told, yes, there's a new game called Anthem. It looks amazing. You're expecting to be talking about it being wonderful, but actually, fast forward 12 months and we hate it because it's a piece of shit. You get talking about this game called Fortnite, Save the World. Don't know, don't really get it. Nah, it's not really. And then 12 months later, okay, it's this runaway success because it merged into a battle royale. E3 sets the tone of what you're kind of going to be speaking about in some way, shape, or form. And I believe E3, as that signifier, as that central point in the gaming calendar, I think it's still huge. And as it stands as the crossover point, I mean, video games are mainstream now. They absolutely are. But in terms of media and news publication, video games still has its own news sources that break out into the main media. And E3 helps video games, and when I say video games, I mean specific games, specific brands break out and become runaway successes, like the Cyberpunks, like the Fall Guys or whatever. E3, not that E3 helped Fall Guys because, it's last year. E3 would have been part of that process. So it's still huge. That said, you look at the data for the last 12 months, Microsoft got shitloads more people watching their content on their stream than E3 would have brought them. Sony got shitloads more. Ubisoft got shitloads more. The only ones that didn't really benefit were the smaller brands. More people turned out in larger numbers to watch the broadcasts of the first parties. I mean, Sony have moved away from E3 already anyway. And I think this kind of makes that more likely. So E3 need to offer some tangible benefits. What do they offer? Because now people realise I don't need your platform because I have my own. So why would I pay six-figure sums to come and see you? And why would people never mind paying six-figure sums to come and have a stall? Why would I put my content in your digital shop, Twitch, when I can put my content in my own digital shop on Twitch that I can fully control the messaging over? So for E3 to exist digitally, I mean, I don't know where they go. What's their USP? What do they add? I mean, yes, they have a path into the world's media. The ESA, obviously, do give ins into the rest of digital entertainment. Being the Entertainment Software Association of America, they can give you coverage, huge coverage, which that sells to the smaller brands. But how do you get the bigger brands in? My only thought is that they say, okay, if you take part in E3 as it is, what you can't really do is that consumer floor show kind of thing. if you take part in the digital stuff this year, we will give you discounted rates next year, and we will make sure that we provide content creators and extra stuff. This is where E3 need to be giving stuff back to the publishers. Before it's been, give us your money and you'll get a slot that we define. Whereas now I think they need to be more the ones that are selling as opposed to just taking the cash. I think that for me is how it works going forward. Jump back through the chat quickly. Waiting in queues to sweaty BO journalists and gamers for 7 hours straight. Don't forget cheesy feet smell, says Enix. You can tell he's been to events. Hydux, good morning. The ESA haven't got a clue, says Gary. They are charging six-figure sums for a slot to a digital event. Bizarre. ESA are a bit, well, odd, says Asim. That said, E3 not dead just yet. Oops, scrolled off the screen. Where has it gone? There we go. That said, E3 not dead just yet. It costs a lot to be there, but is also highly beneficial to developers and publishers in many senses. There is a world where E3 is still a thing, and these other events happen around it too. I agree. It's just whether ESA, in their oddness, can make it in a world where that happens around them, and they make it easier for them to be included in it as well, because I think the ones keeping the ESA out of that inclusion in the world is the ESA. They're almost like their own worst enemies in that sense. As long as it stops this staged announcements that Xbox and PlayStation did just before their launch, where there was zero information. What do you mean? Explain. If E3 embraces the changing world / market like Gamescom, they can survive and keep going, says Mr. T. Chat is rolling. Where do we get to? Might actually get to see some footage of Halo Infinite at E3. You never know. Maybe. Gary says, I think Nintendo and Sony are officially done with any sort of conference style at E3, as they know they can get similar viewing numbers for a fraction of the price by doing their own show. Agreed. Enix says, I think that's the way that all companies will go. Nintendo has been quiet for ages now. 100% thinking announcement for that 4K Switch soon. Asim says, in response to Gary, they are, but they won't dismiss it if ESA, E3 change the way they do things too. So it's not definitive, by any sense of the word. Like I said, there's a world where E3 and other events can exist side by side. Gary says, agreed, but I can't see them going back regardless of what ESA do now. I love E3, but they are so stuck in their ways. Jordan says, I take days off work for E3. Miss those days a lot. Amazing. Like, I remember, trying to find signal on the train home at, 4 or 5 p.m., 6 p.m., so I can watch the Sony conference, and just seeing, Mark Cherney talking about, this is the hardware for the next player. And then it buffers for the next 15 minutes of the train. You're like, why am I in fucking Kirkham and Wesham? Why does the internet not exist in Kirkham and Wesham between Blackpool and anyway, where do we get to? They might not go back into the convention center, but they also won't dismiss that E3 week and do stuff alongside it. Hence, there is a world where things can coexist. I think there's a world where they can coexist and do stuff alongside it in an official capacity as well. I think that is being in the convention center there's still some value to that. But yeah, what Steam do with their what's it called, the stuff where they give you access to demos, they do it in winter
Festival
and
week.
Steam Festival, so Summer Festival, Winter Festival, kind of stuff. I could see the ESA looking at that and going, okay, well that is something that is being hugely successful, and Steam do that for PC games. If the ESA can help support that for console gaming, I think that is where they can start to bring everyone in and pull it all together. Obviously, that's something that PlayStation and Xbox can do for themselves. But if E3 start to get everyone at the same time doing the same things, they can work a way in there. And I may be dying. Apologies. Okay, quickly. I'll get through these and we can jump onto the final article of the day. Don't say this on stream. Okay. I'm just letting people know. By the way, if you own an Xbox, Lost Odyssey is on sale for mega cheap. Pretty much one of the best JRPGs made and beautiful game. Okay, I'm not going to say that on stream. Don't worry. It's fine. I missed E3 for that one-stop shop information on what's coming. No, I agree, and that's where I was when I say when game is Christmas. That taking the days off, rushing to live tweet conferences and stuff with the rest of the internet at the same time. So it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I didn't know downloading SNES and PS1 ROMs and putting them in a disc meant I worked in the games industry. It does. It does. Chapper says, afternoon, shaggers. I'll read. Isn't ESA the European Speedrunners Assembly? Yes, it is. That's the same organisation that does E3. There you go.
Same but different.
Same but different. Gary says, there's always a tunnel whilst on a train at an important time. Absolutely. It's like, okay, and now we're proud to announce the world exclusive first and only look. This will be deleted from our VOD, so you'll never be able to say it again. I'm proud to announce, are you ready? And then 15 minutes later, it's like, oh, what a show. That was amazing. We will never talk about that ever again. And you're like, what? What? Remember a huge first party I used to work for when E3 was on and the company's conference and we all had to sit in a room and watch it was weird but hype at the same time. I imagine that'd be incredible. Imagine being sat there in your green Xbox jersey or your blue PlayStation hoodie or whatever in a room full of everyone doing the same thing. That's like your internal company World Cup. Yes, please. That was a long time ago when we worked 16-hour shifts to get an E3 demo completed. Fun times. ESA need to stop living in the past, essentially. Embrace the value of having consumers at the show for a non-ridiculous price like Gamescom, and give another reason for devs, publishers to be there. Direct to consumer is hugely valuable, as well as the business setup. Well, that's the thing. When you're earning shitloads of money, and you're still earning shitloads of money, but not realising that your interest is dropping off, and so on. Okay, how do we get people back? Do we give them a better system, a better price, and a better product? Or do we just put the price up so that we offset the losses? Yeah, let's do that. Nice. Yeah. So they've just been doing that, and that's only sustainable for a certain amount of time. So yeah, they definitely need to evolve. I think we're all agreed then. We love the idea of ESA, the E3, and everything that the ESA could bring to the table with it. We don't like the idea of what exists. So we would like to see more of it, but just be better. Yes, nice, agreed, lovely. Okay, let's jump into our final news article of the day. Tell you what, let's talk about something that has not only just done better, but has been exceptionally better consistently since the dawn of time. Nice. This is written by Rebekah Valentine. Written? Nice. This is written by Rebekah Valentine, IGN, and says GTA 5 and GTA Online just had their best year since launch. So a game that came out in 2013 had its best year ever in 2020. What the hell is this? GTA 5 has now sold over 140 million copies, and more people played GTA Online in 2020 than any year since launch. So 2020 was yet another record-setting year for Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online, according to publisher Take-Two Interactive's quarterly financial results. In an earnings brief, Take-Two revealed that GTA 5 has sold over 140 million units to date. That's about 10 million units sold since May of last year. Additionally, more units of GTA 5 were sold in calendar 2020 than in any other year except for the game's launch year of 2013, when it sold 32.5 million copies. GTA Online is also doing well years after launch, with Take-Two saying the game had more players each month in 2020 than any month since launch, as well as for the full year of 2020 than in any other year since its launch. It also saw the game's highest participation rate from both new and returning players, and its revenue was up 28% year over year for the quarter. Long story short, everything was up. Nice. As a part of its earnings, Take-Two reaffirmed its commitment to release GTA 5 on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S in the second half of 2021, as well as continue to update the game with new content this year. GTA was not the only Take-Two franchise that saw continued surges of interest in 2020. Red Dead Redemption 2 has now sold over 36 million units worldwide, and Red Dead Online reached more players in December of 2020 than it ever has since its beta launch in 2018. NBA 2K21 has now sold over 8 million units, all down to Asim Tanvir's influencer outreach, and Borderlands 3 has sold over 12 million units. Take-Two attributes much of GTA's online ongoing success this year to its ongoing slate of new content releases, including the recent released Cayo Perico Heist, the first ever heist that GTA Online players can play entirely by themselves if they choose. Players have also taken GTA Online Sandbox to create their own storylines and entertainment. The Green vs. Purple Alien Gang War in GTA Online was something players devised on their own within Rockstar's online universe and speaks to GTA's GTA Online's online enduring popularity. There we go. Nice. Lots of words, but GTA is killing it. What are your thoughts, Pip?
Yeah. I genuinely don't think there's anything left to say about GTA 5 on like the whole campaign versus online versus the RP servers, everything. We spent a lot of time in our houses last year, and a lot of people probably want to find games that they either lapsed out of or brand new gaming experiences. I don't know whether or not this is taken into consideration the amount of copies that got given away in Epic Games Store last year, but I imagine they did very well with that as well. But this is ridiculous. Like 140 million copies sold. That is by far the most out of any game. Well, then again, if you're counting Tetris, who put every single fucking game together ever.
No, they've got 140 million different versions of Tetris. That's what it is.
But this is ridiculous. Like there's I don't think it'll ever get caught in terms of numbers like that. I mean, what's Minecraft? That's got, well, I don't want to say it's close, but that's been ported to absolutely everything as well as Doom, the original Doom. You can play it on everything. But yeah, this is 140 million copies of GTA 5. It's outstanding. Like I don't think we're going to see another game like this in our lifetime. It's coming out on the PlayStation 5 again soon. If they'd have sold it, I mean, you're getting it for free, but even if they'd have sold it for a $5 like they are doing with Red Dead, like they'd still make a shit ton of money.
Minecraft, by the way, 200 million copies sold.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
taking into consideration the ones on like Android.
Yeah, that will be or mobile versions that are like £7 as opposed to the full £45 console PC / releases.
Oh, unreal! Like, again, it's as just a game like GTA 5. I don't think we'll ever see a game like this again. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
No, I agree, and I think there is one of the marketing. One of the marketing words to use that would explain part of the reason why GTA 6 potentially could be not as good is campaign crossover. Also wear out. Basically, people have done it before. By definition, this is a Scream 2 quote. By definition, a sequel is inferior. By definition alone, a sequel is inferior. I.e., you've done it before, so a sequel is the same again, so it's inferior. Even if it's better, it's the same again, so it's inferior. So even though GTA 6 will probably be bigger, stronger, more powerful, more immersive, better looking, better graphics, better processing systems, delivering and everything, it's already been done for GTA 5. Surely it can't be good. I mean, it could be. Yeah. It could be. But also the campaign crossover element is that people have invested all of that time and effort, literal generations in a console sense of their life into this game. Why would they take all of that and step into the next one? So yeah, GTA 6 will be hard pushed to hit 140 million copies sold, but even still, it's still going to absolutely hemorrhage a shitload between now and then. Yeah, absolutely huge numbers.
Hit every single note, isn't it? And the constant updates, the constant wanting to play with your friends, the fact that again they brought in a single player online content. It's unbelievable. Like they're just literally catering for what feels like everybody at this moment in time, and that making an inclusive game is it's going to sell. Is the best way of putting it.
The downside of it selling, as Asim points out, is that this news basically means GTA 6 isn't coming anytime soon, lads. The fact it's still selling shitloads and absolutely hemorrhaging sales, people are just buying it full of. Just buying it. That's what I can't remember the phrase I was going for, but they're all buying it. Everyone's buying it. Okay, that means that why make the 6? But also the fact that GTA 5 isn't coming out until the second half of 2021. They're not going to start marketing 6 when they're just about to release GTA 5. So if you're thinking we're going to start to get any GTA 6 news anytime soon, you're not going to get that until months after GTA 5 has come out on the PS5 and PS6, and Series X. Then we'll get GTA 6 news starting off the back of that. Once that's had its bubble and its burst, then we might start getting it. So yeah, don't expect GTA 6 news for 12 months minimum.
There's no need. Like they'll be ticking away with GTA 6 in the background, but they're not in any rush to show it to anyone. I bet they've been waiting for GTA 5 to start losing traction so they can try and bring people back in with and what GTA 6 is going to look like. But this train's literally going to go forever.
That's like the best problem that you could ever have. Oh, 1 second. Show. Everyone coming in from Mr. Shogun Ash live stream. Welcome in. Just to give you a point to mention that Shogun does it in the back end, but only because it pays really good. It's actually more fun in the front end. That's all I'm saying. Nice. Welcome in, show. Hey, thank you very much for the raid. Nice. We will be finishing up very, very shortly, actually. But it's nice to have you all in here. Hope you've had a good stream with show. And if you're new, please feel free to think about hitting the follow button. It's free. And if you do that, you can be guaranteed that we will regularly take the piss out of Shogun Ash Live on this channel. We do that, and I commit that will be something that we do going forward to. So yeah, if you want to see that piss out of Shogun, then feel free to drop the follow. Nice. I'm not joking. Love your show. So we're currently talking about GTA 5 and GTA, and as I say that, 11 months, baby. Show with the tier 1. Thank you very much, Show, for the 11-month sub. Oh, wait! That's what you get. Now, refund my sub. Can't make. Sold the scene. I love you, Show, very much. Much. By the way, feel free to go check out Show's channel. I mean, these morning streams where you just kind of like have a little bit of a chat, a little bit of a social interaction as you carry on doing your work stuff. Is this a regular thing? Should people know that they can go rock up there until about 10 a.m. ish? Obviously, when they come back for the scoop. But yeah, feel free to go check out the show. He does evening streams as well. If you want to see someone be really bad at PES, be really bad at Pokemon, be really bad at The Sims. I mean, basically, you pick a game and Show can be the worst person that you've ever seen playing that game. Feel free. I love you. Thank you for the sub. Love you long time. No, definitely. Go check him out. As we're saying, GTA 5, GTA Online, 140 million copies of the game sold lifetime. Second as the best-selling game of all time. 60 million behind Minecraft. And Tasim with a good point. I think it was Tasim. He's saying he could expect another 20 to 40 million copies to be sold when the PS5 and Xbox Series X update comes out in the second half of this year. So that's going to push it to 160, 180 million, closing the gap on Minecraft. That is huge. But yeah, as I was saying, that's like the best problem to have in the world. Imagine having these teams of people super hyped to talk about GTA 6 and like just stood there, round table. I've got lights in my eyes from the sun, by the way. Round table, full like presentation set up, like just about to do is GTA 6. This is the game. This is what I'm going to present to you. We're all going to be talking about this internally at Rockstar for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And he stands up and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about Grand Theft Auto 6. And just as he mentions that, it's like, yeah, we've just extended GTA 5. And this guy stands up at the back of the room and everyone just turns to him and they just keep talking about GTA 5 for a few more years again. Mr. GTA 6 guy sits back down again. Oh, fuck.
No one will be disappointed, though. If it comes to E3 again and they started showing off GTA 5 and all the new content roadmap for this year, no one's going to be disappointed.
Nah.
That's the beauty of it.
That's the thing, though. It's, like I said, the best problem to have, because we can't talk to you about our next wonderful IP because we've got an exceptionally wonderful IP that you all enjoy right now.
8 years after the fact, 3 console generations later. Let's go.
Incredible. I can't wait to play it on my PS27. Back in my day. Anyway, so there you go. GTA 5 killing it. GTA Online killing it. And Shogun Ash Live killing it. Nice. What did I say? I think it's going to be a regular thing. Yeah, nice. Okay, so yeah, there you go. First thing in the morning, jump on with Shaw or Chucky or any of our other friends and then get here for 10 a.m. ish. Nice. Gary says I'm 100% getting on the PS5 as well. I would have, like, GTA Online was free.
It's free, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just whether GTA 5 offline is going to have some sort of paid upgrade or if that's going to be free as well. But interesting.
I'd pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think everyone would.
Absolutely. Shaw says GTA 5 is the definition of getting your money's worth. Yeah, exactly. Like a tier 1 sub on twitch.tv/ice cream upload. On that bombshell, I think it's time to wrap things up. Because I have this. This sat in front of me. Aldi's own black bean sauce veggie jerky. No spawn for Aldi, by the way, but veggie jerky. If you'd have said that to me a couple of months ago, I would have spat in your face. Not laughed. I would have actually. But now I tasted this black bean sauce veggie jerky. It's exceptional. If you go to Aldi, grab yourself some. It's good. It's good. Anyway.
Yeah.
Product placement non-paid for over. We are going to disappear. There will be no additional streams today because it is a Tuesday. We do have our full day job. As mentioned a few times in the show already, we do this stuff on the side. We do work in the games industry. Shout out to the Jelly Massive. Ice cream, jelly and ice cream, is our sidekick, our side bit. This is the bit that we do on the side. So anyone that does drop subs, like Shaw, like La Roche, and like Mr. Graham Day, nice, as well as Magic Man as well, even though his isn't in the feed because Twitch has done you dirty magic. We appreciate anyone that does drop subs, donos, even the people that help keep us going by dropping the likes on the social medias, but the hosts just lurking in the chat. You all make this exceptional, so we appreciate the support for everyone. We don't have any additional content for you today, but we will find a friend of the channel to go and drop a raid on. So if you want to stick around for the raid, you do get extra channel points. So if you want to help the channel grow, if you want to change the colours of the lighting in the room, or you just want to make me wear a level 3 helmet when I'm playing PUBG, you can pay for all of that with channel points, which are free. You get them on Twitch, and they're just kind of like down there-ish. So yeah, follow the raid and you get extra channel points, and you say hello and pass a little bit of love on to one of our friends. But before we do go and raid someone else, Bib, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much for joining our show today. We had 3 news articles submitted, 2 by Robo. Did I get that right?
As in
RoboCop. Robo. I don't know how we get this done every single time, but Robo. And then 1 by Tasim Anvir. Thank you very much for giving us some news articles. But if you want to be involved in the very next show, there's 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media, Second way, find us in our Discord area there called The Scoop. All we need from you is the URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions at the very next show, which will be what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Well, that time tomorrow will be smack bang on the money, 10 a.m. Ish. We have an exclusive emote for anyone that's a sub on our channel. You can get the ish emote just for being a sub, and basically ish is pretty much ice cream uploads in a nutshell. Bonsai says bye guys, ish with the bits. Thank you very much for the bits, Bonsai. Appreciate it. Once again, anyone, bits, lurks, sponsors, subs, whatever, we love you all very, very, very much. We are going to disappear now. We're going to find someone to raid. If you've got any suggestions.
I've already got someone.
Oh, Baby's already got someone. There we go. Nice. Okay. Yeah. I don't even know who it is, so stick around and find out with me. Nice. That's it from us. Have yourselves a fantastic day. We'll see you at 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow. Until then, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.